Hi, my name is Christine Von Lossberg, and I wrote this story in 1994, and it's called Frederick the Fastest Frog. Okay? Frederick was not your usual type frog. Yes, he was green. Yes, he had the bulgy eyes. And yes, the spots were on his back. The thing about Frederick was he had the biggest feet you ever saw on a frog. They were huge. There were benefits to having the biggest frog feet, even though some would point and laugh at him. You see, Frederick was the fastest swimmer in the whole pond. Those big feet could really go. One of his best buddy frogs swam over to his lily pad. Frederick was taking a nap there, and his feet were hanging over in the water. Wilbur just couldn't resist giving Frederick's feet a little tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Frederick jumped up and laughed and yawned at the same time. Wilbur snuck around to the other side and poked his head up out of the water. "Croak! Scared you, huh?" Wilbur laughed. "I thought it was you. I'm going to get you now," Frederick says as he plopped into the water. Wilbur swam just as fast as he could to get away from him. It was no use. Frederick was too fast for him. He gave up. They hopped and played all over the lily pads just like typical boy frogs do. Soon they were joined by some other frogs from the other pond. They weren't just any frogs. The other pond was over on the other side of the big marsh. Somehow they managed to make their way through all of the sticks and mud, and there they were, sitting right there, three of them not saying a word or even a croak. Then, "Hi, you guys. I'm Bob. This is Greenie, and that's Ferdy," Bob introduced everyone. Frederick and Wilbur looked at them, and then they introduced themselves right back. "So, what are you doing over in our pond?" Wilbur asked. "The reason is we are having a big race, and we wanted to know if you knew anyone who'd like to be in it," Ferdy said. Apparently, they hadn't seen Frederick's feet. They didn't have a clue what they were dealing with here. Frederick kept his feet in the water after Wilbur gave him a little wink. "Why, yes, Ferdy, our Frederick here is quite a swimmer. He's our man." Wilbur patted Frederick on the back. "Well, great! We will see you all there 2 moons from now," he croaked. "You got it," Frederick said. He was not truly sure what he had agreed to. "We're going to beat you. We got Big Sam." They all yelled, and they made their way through back to the marsh again. "Big Sam? I think I heard of Big Sam. We're finished," Frederick says as he got back on his lily pad. "Oh, Frederick, don't be that way. Remember, you've got the feet. The feet. You will win for sure," Wilbur said. "Come on, let's go tell everyone. We have to all pull together," Wilbur said. They swam back over to where all the frogs were at. It was singing time. They were all sitting on the bank and on their lily pads, and they were all croaking away. Frederick and Wilbur joined in. This went on for at least another 20 minutes, when Wilbur just had to cut in. Everyone, pay attention. I have great news," Wilbur yelled. Frederick sort of looked around, hoping no one would point at him. "We have been invited to a race. Our Frederick will be racing Big Sam from the other pond. Whoever wants to go, show up here in 2 moons." Wilbur was done with his speech. "Ah, ha, ha, croak, 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 hee, 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 croak, ha, 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 yuck, yuck, yuck." Every one of them was cracking up, except one. It was Buford, the bullfrog. "Stop!" Buford yelled. They all stopped at once and looked at Big Buford. He was up on a rock looking down at them. "Now listen up and listen good. I have listened to you make fun of Frederick long enough. Frederick is faster than any of you. He can outswim the best of you, and you know it. You are just jealous of him, and I want it to stop right now." Buford's deep voice went right through all of them. They knew he was right. Frederick just sat there with his feet in the water. He didn't say anything. He was just a little embarrassed about the whole thing. Soon the other frogs came over to him and told him they were sorry, that they will be with him at the race, and they knew he could do it, even if it was Big Sam. Frederick told him he would just do his best. That's all he could do. He said, "That's all you can do, right?" Then they all went on their lily pad houses. The first moon came. Frederick, Wilbur, and Buford got together for a little talk. Buford sat on his rock and told them, "Nobody knows this, so I want you to keep my secret, okay?" They both agreed, listening very carefully. "It's about Big Sam. He's my brother. We had a fight many years ago, and we haven't spoken since. He is just as stubborn as I am. But when we just agreed to stay out of our own, that we stay in our own separate ponds." Both Frederick and Wilbur just looked at each other. They were like brothers and loved each other. It was hard for them to understand, but they tried. "I think this race is a plan to get me over there for some reason. I think that he is just trying to show off and make me mad. Don't worry, I will be there, but I will hide so he won't see me. He will think that I didn't show up," Buford said. Frederick said, "Do you really think I can beat him?" "With those feet, boy, you're gonna cream him. I can't wait to see it." Buford laughed. Wilbur and Frederick went out to the middle of the pond, and Frederick did some practice runs. He went as fast as he could, back and forth, about 50 times. All of the other frogs couldn't believe their eyes. He got faster and faster. They all yelled, "Yay! Go, Freddie!" Frederick couldn't believe it himself. He didn't know that he could go that fast. Well, it was time for sleep, time to relax and be ready for the next big day. It was now the day of the big race. All of the other frogs came and circled Frederick's lily pad, and at the same time yelled, "Wake up, champ!" Frederick fell right into the water and popped his eyes up. "I'm ready to go when you all are. My feet can't wait. I feel them starting to move already." He was totally hyped. Wilbur showed up with Buford. Buford looks different somehow. Frederick couldn't put his finger on it. He just sort of stared at him and wondered. "I have red clay on my face, Frederick. I am in disguise," Buford said in his deep voice. "Oh, yes, I understand," Frederick said. "Is everybody ready?" Wilbur called out. There was one big croak heard back. Buford led the way through the march. He knew the shortcut. Soon they had made it. All the frogs jumped into the other pond. Theirs is nice, too. But ours has way more lily pads and flowers," Frederick thought. Buford hid behind some nice reeds. He watched them pretty good, he thought. He matched them pretty good, he thought. He told them all to go over there. He couldn't see Big Sam anywhere, no matter how he strained his big, bulgy eyes. Wilbur met with the frogs as he met at the other pond. They said they were sitting together on one giant lily pad. "Nice pad," Wilbur said. "Thank you. Now where's Frederick?" Greenie asked. "Oh, he's coming. He'll be here in any minute," Wilbur explained. Frederick was still in the reeds with Buford. Buford was giving him a little pep talk. Frederick listened very carefully. "It's time to go now. I know you can do it. You're the fastest," Buford said as he nudged Frederick along. Frederick slowly swam to where Wilbur was with the other frogs. "I'm ready when Big Sam is," Frederick said. All of a sudden, everything stopped. From behind a tree that was growing in the water came Big Sam. Frederick looked at him and gulped. Wilbur just sort of croaked a little. He really is quite big, isn't he? Frederick said. Very big, yes, very, very big, Wilbur said. Buford poked his head out from behind the reeds. He just had to take a peek. I just can't believe how fat he got. He's humongous. Then he began to giggle to himself. He rolled over and over, laughing. He looks just like Grandpa. And he laughed again. The little girl frogs came out with flowers on their heads. They were getting ready to start the race. They stood there with big leaves that they would use to say go with. When the first leaf fell, it was the time. Frederick decided he better introduce himself to Big Sam, so he swam over to him. He pulled his giant feet up onto the lily pad, and everyone just gasped. Big Sam looked very worried indeed. Before Frederick could shake hands with him, the leaf dropped, and they were off. Big Sam plopped into the water so hard that it made a giant wave for him to ride on. Frederick just couldn't believe it. It knocked him under the water, and he lost his direction. Buford watched that old trick and said, "What a cheater!" Frederick peeked back out of the water and saw Big Sam out there in front of him. All the frogs were croaking like crazy. They were hopping all over the place. Frederick heard, "Go, Freddie, go!" And that was enough for him. He took off like a bullet. Big Sam saw him coming. There was nothing he could do right now. He already did his cannonball trick, and there was nothing else left. Frederick was right next to him now. Suddenly, Big Sam started to sink. Buford looked over and said, "Now what is he up to?" Big Sam didn't come up. Frederick looked back and Big Sam was gone. He didn't know just what to do. So he just kept going to the finish line. He won! And from nowhere there was Buford. He dove down to the bottom of the pond and saw his brother just lying there. "Oh no, Big Sam," he said, and he pulled him all the way up to the top and took him over to the shore. Buford just looked at him. Big Sam opened his big bulgy eyes and looked right up at Buford. "Are you okay?" Buford asked him. "I've been wondering the same thing about you. Are you okay?" Big Sam said. Buford slugged him in the arm like brothers do. "Yes, I'm okay," Buford said. They both began to laugh. It's been so long since they had done that together. They were brothers again, both up to their old tricks. Frederick swam over to them and wanted to know if everything was okay. "Yes, everything is okay now," Buford said. "Big Sam here pulled one of his best tricks on me yet. Now we're friends again." Frederick was very happy. So was everyone. It wasn't long after that that the beavers came along and made a trail from one pond to the other. It was very easy to go back and forth then. Frederick stayed the fastest frog for many years to come. It seemed that no one could beat him. He had many ribbons and medals to show for it. Buford and Big Sam sat around pretty much telling stories to the tadpoles. They remained close and never could seem to remember what that fight was all about. It really didn't matter, because they were friends and brothers, and they knew that that was the most important thing of all. Isn't that nice? Brothers again. Happy ending. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.